We're on Zoom too. So I'm gonna record this for people. Yeah. All right, we'll get
Yeah,
going.
there's some privacy
People join in. That's
camera.
awesome. Hello to our Zoom friends. Hopefully you
Hi.
can see the PowerPoint okay. Hopefully.
Um, can you hear me, Hunter?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see, but it's behind you, right?
Can you see the
Uh,
one on the
oh,
screen?
yes, I
Okay,
can. Yes.
perfect. All right, perfect. So I'm Hunter. It's nice to see some new faces. Um, for those that don't know me, I started Women on Wheels and we do all sorts of things we can talk about a little later on. But I'm also on the Stage One cycling team, which is run out of this shop. So Brian so graciously offered to host us this evening. So I'm going to do this mini presentation, answer any questions you have. I'm happy to chat about other things too. Then Brian's getting some pizza for us. He has some snacks back there. We can eat, hang out. All this stuff up here is a bargain basement that Brian can tell us more about. And then obviously things downstairs you can look at if you have questions about any of the services they offer as well. If we can just quick do names, I'm probably not going to remember all of them, but I'll try.
I'm Michelle Gordon. I'm Ruth Ann Joseph. Deborah Kovetz. I'm Maureen Walton. Karen Mastella. Chad Gorilla. Ben Haberman. Ian Marie Labonte. Patty Beasley. I'm Jessica Lawn. Melissa Felter. Colleen Jost.
Cool. And we have Michelle on this Zoom with us. I have a couple just like single page printouts of the PowerPoint if anyone wants to grab one or take notes. There's also stickers people can take, and then that business card has our QR code to our Facebook page. So if you're not on that yet, it's a free page to join. Our group is free to join, so please do that if you're not already on it. And you can take a couple of those too to hand out to friends if you like. All right, so let's get started here with our presentation. So winter riding, let's see, next slide here. Who actively rides outside during the winter? Okay, okay, cool. So we've got a good, okay, cool. Yeah, it can be too cold for some people, right? I know some kind of have like temperature ranges when they get out, but like a lot of things, there's really no bad weather if you have the right gear. Yeah, you do, but it's okay. So I'm going to go over some things today that I use, some recommendations. I also have some recommendations in here of companies that Brian can order from. And then if any of you have gear that you like really like, please share that with us because we're always looking for new things. So starting up top with our headwear, big thing here is we want something to cover the helmet vents. So if you have a very ventilated helmet like most of us do, you want some kind of skull cap underneath that, or the word I always butcher, the balaclava. Those are nice too because they go over your head and they cover your neck. So those are great to just kind of cover those helmet vents up in really chilly mornings like it was this morning. Sunglasses, I know sometimes this time of year is hard because it's not sunny out, but I would always recommend getting a clear pair of sunglasses to wear. Just still protects your eyes and then you can still see because it's not as sunny. I use the Tifosi ones because they're like $25 and I don't care if I scratch them or lose them. But I would still recommend some kind of eyewear. And then I have this awesome jacket that has a hood on it and it's got one of those boa dials on the back to kind of tighten everything up. I used to work at a Trek store and they had that for sale years ago and it's been great. So I don't think a hood is necessary for winter riding, but it's really nice on the really chilly days. I didn't wear it this morning, but when we did our Christmas ride, I wore pretty much this setup.
Do you feel like you're desensitized with all of that around?
Yeah, like I probably wouldn't wear this road riding, but I was on the airline trail mountain biking, I would because it kind of blocks your peripheral vision, I would say. Yeah, anything with hoods and road riding, I probably wouldn't do.
Okay.
That's a good question.
And what was the brand on the glasses you said?
Tifosi, Tifosi. I like their glasses. Yeah, there's a couple here. They're relatively inexpensive in the realm of sunglasses. I know there's all those fancy brands out there, but I'm a little reckless.
And they have some nice like color shading and the
Yeah,
shading ones, like I like the color.
photochromatic, I
Yeah,
think it's
they're
called.
great.
Yeah. Yeah, so I like them, and like with triathlons when you're just like throwing your gear on the ground, it's like, oh, it's okay if those get mushed. Okay, so then we get to uh, our body here. So the name of the game, and if you do any kind of winter sports, you probably know this, it's all about layering. So first and foremost, we start with a base layer. This is one of those things when I started cycling that I kind of thought was like, it's just trying to sell me one more thing. It's actually really useful. So Murano Will is like really popular for base layers. Certain brands of that I find a little itchy. I have a ski pair I like. The cycling one I had I didn't love, but Pactimo makes this thermoregulator one. I can pass it around and I'm obsessed with it. Pactimo also always has insane sales, like very frequently. So you can get things for like half off a lot. So I just brought this to pass around just to show some examples, but it does a great job of being a base layer, and I don't find it as itchy as the other wool one that I had. But that is, I guess anyone that does kind of skiing or snow sports will probably have some kind of base layer stuff too.
I was gonna take a picture of the label, yeah.
Brian has access to a company called 45 North. They make a lot of great winter stuff. They have a Murano wool base layer that you can get through them. And like I said, this one I got through Pactimo. Vests are a great option to keep our core warm. So vest is another one of those things. I think people love them or hate them. A lot of people use vest in that like fall and springtime, but it's a good added layer if needed for winter riding. And then we get to an outer layer, and this is like so dependent on how cold you're riding. There's some like lighter winter jackets, and then there's heavier ones like that blue one I showed is like feels like a snowboard coat. But like the one in this picture is just a pretty thick thermal jersey. This morning I rode, I had that gray jersey on, and then I had my stage one like winter jacket over that, and I was just fine. A little toasty at one point, actually. Does anyone have any good base layers, thermal jerseys, jackets that they currently own that they love?
I like people always talk about jackets, and I'm like, where are you finding these jackets? Because I don't ever, like, I don't know, I have a couple, like, I think it's like a thicker jersey cycling
Yeah, yeah,
jacket, but it's not like a jacket, it's,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I really do love Pactimo. Like they do a good job of separating the gear out for like wet, cold, and frigid. So there's some good stuff on there. A lot of the clothes I have are Bontrager just from being at Trek. But yeah, there is, I think with a jacket, you get that like wind layer usually, right? It's more of that wind material, whereas like this gray shirt is like a soft fleece. Yeah, yeah. And a jacket is more of like a shell than like a fuzzy thermal, if that makes sense.
I actually like the jackets that unzip in the armpits.
Yeah.
They have partial zip
Yep.
or complete zip off and turned into a vest.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Where did you get that one?
I have one from REI.
Okay.
It's an REI brand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then I have one, I don't know the name of it. It's really old.
Yeah.
So I just love it.
Yeah, those are good too. Yeah, one thing I didn't mention on here because I feel like it's more, I do more spring fall is like arm warmers and leg warmers. But depending on how warm it gets through the winter, those are nice too because you can just pull them off and tuck them in a pocket easier than a clothing item.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah. Any other questions about this stuff? Or we keep moving? All right, handwear. So again, gloves, there's big range of gloves. I brought a couple of examples here to show. So we've got something as simple as just like a thin fleece lined riding glove, which Brian's got some from Endurance Threads back here. Do you have any Endurance Thread gloves?
I have lots of the ones that he has at races.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is it something different than that or?
No, that's it. Yeah. So they have like they have a big range of like spring gloves, fleece lined gloves, things like that. So there's some kicking around here if you want to look. I have this glove, which is a bit thicker. This is what I wore this morning. And what I like about this one, it's got a little pocket that you can put your hand warmers.
Yeah, that's one that you use.
Yeah. Yep. So no, again, not all gloves have that. I feel like you can put hand warmers in your hands and still put them in the gloves.
Yeah.
But this one has that, which I love.
Yeah.
So yeah, to give you reference, I rode at 8 o'clock this morning. It was like mid-20s. I wore this, it was fine. When we did our Christmas ride, it was freezing. It was in the teens, and then I put this lobster glove over this glove. And that was good. And I had my hand warmers. So the lobster gloves are good to keep you warm, but I find the shifting to get a little clunky. Just something to keep in mind. Not sure I would like ever do a race in lobster gloves, but they're good to keep you warm. And then these ones have like a little cinch at the end, like a ski glove would, to kind of tighten up. I think if you're gonna buy a lobster glove and you intend to put it over another glove, you maybe want to go a size up. So
Does Brian have the Endurance Threads lobster gloves here too?
I don't know.
Jeannie has those and really likes them.
Yeah. That's good to know. Yeah. So yeah, we've got some Endurance Threads back there, and then he can order the 45 North, which I showed up here. So yeah, I would say if you're riding like, around 30s, like this is okay. But if you want to do things in like the 20s and teens, I would definitely invest in a pair of lobster gloves. There is something I'll show at the end that you can help with your hands too. Questions about gloves? Okay, hands. So I think this can get a little hard because people like shorts, like bibs, like no padding. There's like all sorts of things people like. What I tend to do is I wear a fleeced lined bib, and then when it's really cold, I have this pair of pants that I have on in the picture. That's kind of like, think of like a hiking pant, that kind of thickness, more of a wind protection. So I'll double up layers like that. Again, Pactimo does a really good job because they make women-specific winter bibs. If you can find me another company that does that, let me know, because I would love to know more, but Pactimo for sure does that. This pair I can pass around. This is their like wet winter riding pants, so the material is a little more conducive to that. I wore the other ones this morning, so they're drying so I can race Fatty Cross this weekend. But yeah, they do a good job if you like a bib option. Now, yes, that does complicate going to the bathroom and things like that. So they do make just fleece lined pants too. Again, their website is very friendly with helping with cold weather, frigid weather, wet weather. But just to show you, these I can pass it around, and this one still has like fleece line, like I can still wear this in the winter. Yeah, and that wind protective outer layer. So these pants in the picture are from Wild Rye. It's a pretty cool company out west. I love the pants, and they also don't look terrible. So like you don't feel bad like walking around in them after the fact. And you can like hike in those kind of pants too. In the fall, I would just wear like my short bibs and those pants. But yeah, anything again, just like the jackets, like a wind protective layer is helpful when it's really cold. Pockets and such are nice too. Anyone have any other pants they like? Brands they've found that they love? No. Yeah, before I discovered how great Pactimo was, I used to just wear my like winter running tights, and then I would put like my regular bibs over them. It was like a whole thing, but this I've really enjoyed.
I just wear my regular bike shorts with fleece lined leggings.
Yeah.
The leggings get caught on my feet like in a cross race or something.
Right.
They're not ideal, but they keep me warm.
Does
I haven't bought something else. So.
Yeah. I think it's hard, and I get it, the bibs, it takes you like 10 minutes to go to the bathroom in the winter with all the layers and stuff. So it does complicate it, but I for like the comfort and the warmth, it's worth it for me.
You make some bibs that have the straps.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, footwear. So some kind of boots that aren't your regular cycling shoes is probably what you want. Um, Spring and fall temps, you can get away with things like the little toe covers or the things you pull over your shoes. Those are fine. But again, if you're riding in mornings like this morning or evenings, you really want some kind of boots. I brought two examples to show you. It's kind of like some different options and styles. Um, this I would say is more of like a, it's got a rock stuck in it. Um, I would wear this more in like the spring, fall, 40 degrees, things like that. Freezing or below, I wear these big old boots, which seem really clunky, but they're really warm. Um, I got these, I think last year. So I've had these for a while and your toes still get a little cold. But these boots have been good. The downside to some of this stuff, it's most of it is all just the SPD cleat. So for the road riders with the triangle kind of cleat, might have to change your pedals. I don't really know if they make a winter boot that has the triangle cleat. Um, Easy for us mountain biking or gravel riding with the SPD cleat. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're buying these shoes. If you want to ride on the road, you're either gonna have to change your pedals or let me know if you find a brand that has a triangle cleat boot. But yeah, you guys can come look at these after if you would like. Wool socks, easy investment. Any kind of wool socks will be good. And then again, toe warmers. I think 2 years ago, I bought massive boxes of hand and toe warmers on Amazon and just plucking away at those things. Leave some in your car. All right, boots. Does anyone have winter boots that they ride in? What brand do you have? You don't remember? What did you say?
Maybe CD.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
Anybody?
and I actually put inserts that are like rechargeable.
Ooh.
And you can turn them on.
Yeah.
And, well,
Yeah. Actually, a woman in our group, Jane, for those that know her, she just got like socks like that. She really struggles with what's it when you're like get close. Yeah. And even in her like indoor setup is over the garage and she gets freezing. So she got these like rechargeable socks and she's like, tell your grandma about them. Okay. So yeah, I think there's
Yeah, I
other
think that's the next thing, the socks, and I just 60 degrees, I can't feel it.
yeah, that's brutal. Especially living here.
Especially this week.
So yeah, I can ask her what the brand of socks is, but I'm sure you could find.
Yeah, you can find them.
Yeah. Okay, this a lot of people might not know about embrocation. So, this Mad Alchemy is a company that makes a lot of like chamois creams and things like that. If you've been in our group, you've probably heard me talk about them. Embrocation has like a thick warming lotion that you can put on yourself. You can put it on legs, arms, back, neck, like areas that are exposed. I wouldn't like rub it on my face. But arms and legs are good. I don't use this much when I have like all the winter gear on, but if I'm like racing cyclocross or things like that, it's a good option. Um, the tricky thing with this is if you just get home and jump in the shower, whatever is in it gets activated by the hot water, so you feel like your skin is burning. So this company, Mad Alchemy, does make a spray that you can put on and kind of like rub it off before you get in the shower, or you can just take dish soap and do that as well. So it works extremely well. Hi, Margot.
Sorry.
All good. So it works extremely well. But there's that big thing, like I didn't know that at first. I got in the shower and it's like my skin's falling off. But Mad Alchemy is a company I would recommend. They're a great little company out of New England and just good people, and they've supported our group for a while. So there's that. Okay, so then this slide is some recommendations from 45 North, which Brian can get a hold of. Most of this stuff I think you'll have to order through him. It's not necessarily like in stock in the store, but there's a variety of boots. They've got 3 types of boots for different degrees. The ones that I said spring or fall are going to be similar to like this kind of one. And then the one 0 to 25 degrees, that's going to be more like this one. And then if you're insane enough to ride in negative 25 degrees, if you're doing the like Alaska race, then rock on. Tell me how it is. Yeah, for clothes, they've got a pair of those like outer layer, like wind type pants. They have a base layer. They have a bunch of headwear options. I brought a couple examples of like just skull caps. I've got one where like my ponytail can go through, which is nice. Same thing with the headband. So that's a good option if less stuff in the helmet. And then for the bike, these things that you can put on the handlebars, a lot of people really like. Does anyone have those?
What do they
Yeah.
do?
So you put your hands in them and it like traps the heat.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't ridden in them because whoever said they're like a little scared with like the shifting and stuff, I agree.
I've already dislocated my shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I can't get out fast.
Yeah. A lot of people use them. I rather like triple up on the gloves than do that. But I mountain biked with some people a couple of weeks ago and they had them, and I think I would probably like practice on like a safe space before I like went in the woods. But yeah, it's a good option. A lot of people really like them for, especially if you're out there. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Does anyone here use them? Yeah. Yeah, I guess so.
Do they make them for drop bars?
They do. They make, yeah, I forget the brand. There is a brand that does like flat bar and drop bar. Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, I get scared with the shifting. I feel like I wouldn't have control. Okay, the other recommendations. So I mentioned Pactimo a bunch of times. Again, their website's really user friendly. The base layer and the bibs are like the two things through there I would recommend. And then the Freya bike pants are from Wild Rye. Like I said, a lot of the stuff I do have is from Trek because I used to work there and not reinvesting in winter clothes. But yeah, if you have questions about any recommendations and things, I'm happy to send links of stuff that I do use. And then when Brian gets back, we can talk to him more about stuff that he can get a hold of. So, is there any questions? I just put them right in there.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Are you
then
buying a size bigger with those?
No.
Socks and foot warmers now?
No, I didn't. I mean, the wool socks, I think, at least the ones I have, really aren't that much thicker than
Okay.
a regular cycling sock. And then the toe warmers, I don't know, like I wouldn't say they like lay perfectly in there, but again, it's like, what are you willing to
Right.
sacrifice to stay warm?
Put them under your foot or on top of your
I put them under my foot.
Because I have like two daughters. One does them one way, one does
Yeah,
them the other way.
yeah.
It's like, yeah.
I think you're probably, I don't know if I would have room on the top of the foot, but the bottom is fine. And I just kind of shove it in there, and if it
Okay.
feels uncomfortable, I take it out and try again. But yeah, I think most of the time too, when you're riding in the winter, like I'm not out there for as long, so you're like, oh, an hour or two, you can kind of deal with it.
It's not freezing feet.
Yeah.
My hack is I don't have boots. I just put the toe warmers on top of my shoes, and then I put the toe covers on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you put it up here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
Fit in
good
my
idea.
shoe, and then I put the boot cover, like
Yeah.
the shoe cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
that blocks the holes.
No, that's good. Yeah, the shoe covers are definitely like a more affordable option, right? If you're buying some boots, like you're investing $300 in boots. Yeah. So that's a
I just recently saw someone say they put tinfoil on their toes. They wrap their feet like with tinfoil.
yeah.
It's on
Cycling site.
I don't know, I guess
I
it's
like
not
that.
good.
Yeah.
So I wear flats. Do they make it like toe warmers for cycling type shoes, or is it all for flips?
Oh, that's a good question.
I haven't done.
Yeah.
Boot covers, I have the bottom open. So it just kind of goes around the shoe and at the bottom of it is open, so it wouldn't
Yeah.
hurt to wear a flat board.
You're just a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shoes are a lot wider.
right. Yeah, that's a good question.
I'll
Yeah,
show
so-
the patty across the woman for.
They're gonna be like, what is Melissa doing?
My helmet. Right, exactly. I'll get lots of hand ups.
Does
Very
it
good.
have a, like, I guess it's a lot of trial and error, but you think it's cold and so you dress and then 15 miles in, you're like, oh, I'm melting. Like,
Yeah.
when I used to run, I used to dress for like 10
Yeah.
degrees warmer than it.
Yeah.
Colder. Yeah, which way would you go?
I honestly,
More, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you'd go and you'd be fine. Like, I guess maybe
Right.
just try it and see, but
Yeah.
do you have a rule? Does anyone have?
no, I like thought about putting like a chart in here of like how to dress for what degrees, but then I stopped myself because I'm like, everyone is so different,
Yeah.
right? Like even this morning, I like went out and I had my boots on, I had my 2 layers, my little skull cap, and then I was hot, right? Like I think I only needed like one upper layer.
Just thin layers.
Yeah. Yeah. I know, but then it's hard because like if you're not doing something that's like looped or whatever, you don't want to get caught out an hour away freezing, right?
All right, I just wanted to.
But yeah. And I think it depends on what riding you're doing. Like if you're on the road, I would like bundle up way more than mountain biking. So yeah. Yeah, it kind of depends. I mean, is anyone riding in like less than like 20 degrees, 15 degrees? No.
Body girl.
Yeah.
What are you wearing for fatty cross? Bundling up?
Sweatshirt and yeah, sweatshirt and like probably.
And then forget a coat, like all the kids do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom.
Yeah, then steal my mom, so then my mom's freezing. Yeah.
I always bring extras.
I try not to, but last year day before the segment challenge, Jake did a frozen toes bonus where it was like 12 degrees is the high for the day, and anybody who rode got like extra points for doing it. It was
cool.
fast.
Yeah.
And if I had known where I was going, it would have been a faster time than the day I ended up riding.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so you've heard us talk about Fatty Cross a bit. That's happening on Sunday, and it's every other Sunday for 3 races, right? So whatever that calendar adds up to. It's a really fun way to just keep riding throughout the winter. So if you have a mountain bike, a fat bike, a gravel bike, cyclocross bike, you can do it. There's just 4 categories: A, B, juniors, and fat bike. Everyone races together. It's super fun. Some people take it seriously. Some people are stopping and taking shots and drinking beer and eating candy. And making handoffs. So it's a really fun time. It's gonna go on rain, shine, ice, snow. Last year, I think they got a little bit of all types of weather.
So snowy when it was
So icy though.
Yeah, the first one was icy.
So icy, everything like split out so badly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kids went first, so they had the icy.
Yeah, the ice is like so icy.
Yeah. So, but it's really fun. Love to see you out there. It's at the Haddam Neck Fair. So yeah, we're doing that every other week for 3 weeks. And then we also have the segment challenge, which is not too late to sign up. Do you want to explain it?
So we basically choose 5 segments that last for about 10 weeks this winter. Each segment you have 2 weeks to ride it. So it starts on Monday, this is like Sunday, 2 weeks from now. And you use the Strava leaderboard and your best time in that 2 weeks. So you can go ride it once, you can ride it 15 times, whatever you want to do.
And it's $20.
It's only $20 for the whole 10 weeks. And then we have a fun party at the end.
Yeah.
And it's a nice way to just get out, explore some new places to ride, and meet some friends. I've met a lot of people throughout the state riding those over the last 5 years. So.
Yeah. Yeah, and for example, we have a group of women tomorrow meeting at sometime mid-morning, and they're going out to lunch after, and it's just like a fun social thing to get you through the winter too. So
segments, and they can be anywhere.
Okay. So we're in Glastonbury for the first couple weeks.
What was that one like? Did you do it?
Yeah, I did it this morning. It was good. We ride there all the time with the kids for chain links. There's parts of it that are pretty easy, and then there's one pretty rocky climb, and then there's a bridge, which usually I would just go through the water, but that is frozen solid right now.
My husband did a video trailing one of my sons riding it, and that's on the Strava, on the Strava
Yeah,
page. There's a
Strava
QR
page.
code.
Oh, okay.
He created it. You can't put videos on Strava anymore this year, so he created a YouTube channel and there's a link, a QR code, because you also can't put links on Strava this year. But if you want to see what the conditions look like, you can watch that. But it's Huey made it up the rocky hill and over the bridge in that video.
Awesome. I love it.
And Jamie went through.
Because was it frozen?
No,
It wasn't frozen yet.
New Year's
Yeah.
Day, I think we went through that.
Yeah, it's faster when it's not, but I wasn't gonna risk riding over the ice.
Oh, was it icy?
Solid. I tried to stomp on it, like if I can break this, I'm riding through it, but I couldn't.
I always get off and walk over the bridge.
Yeah, it's a pretty narrow bridge, and it's like in a weird. I think getting on it's pretty easy, but then getting off of it, there's like some weird rocks.
There's two lines to get off. You either have to go to the right over rocks or go to the left up a Rudy Hill. So neither one is easy.
Yeah.
For me. Anyway.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, and then a little before that, there's a climb that's got some rocks, but then the rest of it's pretty
Yeah,
straightforward.
that's what it looked like on the map.
Yeah.
Doesn't look too bad, right?
Yeah. It's definitely, because we've ridden that loop like 100 times this year. It's when you're doing it at an effort, you realize it's hillier than you expected.
So I've only ridden it with Ruby. So I've never done it in less than like a half an hour.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
my
Yeah, that's
four-year-old rides it all.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, she's 5 now, but last summer she was 4 and riding it all the time.
Yeah. We talked about Fatty Cross. Is there anything you want to add? Oh, there's a lunch after. Hot dogs, hamburgers, veggie burgers. I forgot that.
So tell me more about the Fatty Cross. Like, do you go over things, or is it a straight course, or what exactly?
You made the course.
The course is very.
This is
similar
Brian.
I'm Brian, I'm the owner of Airline Cycles. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Fatty Cross is essentially a winter cyclocross event. So most of the course is on grass or fairly tame dirt track. There are a couple of obstacles. For instance, there are 2 barriers where you'll have to probably jump off your bike and just lift it only about 18 inches high. So 2 barriers. There's one little hill that most people will ride up. Some people might run up. There's going to be a section we call Plinko, where you just have to ride in between a bunch of big plastic barrels. Kind of a fun obstacle, fun little challenge to ride through. No significant hills. It's about 1.5 mile course to do multiple laps. And being a fun winter unsanctioned event, there aren't really any rules. There will be
Literally no
on the
rules.
side of the course encouraging you to eat that powdered donut mid-lap. Here's a piece of bacon. Here's a can of Miller Lite. Who knows what it might be?
I think we got
But-
a fireball last year.
Quite possibly a piece of Fireball this year.
Very questionable things.
Given that we're sort of in between the serious riding seasons, this is all about just having some fun.
Yeah.
Little Margot can attest to our bar at Ice Weasels.
Oh, the bar's coming too. We ended up with it in our car when we left because we're always the last ones to leave, so it's coming back to Fatty Cross because we don't need it at our house.
Yeah. If you want some really bad shots, come to Fatty Cross.
That's every other thing.
Yeah. So it starts this Sunday. I know it's the 12th, and then
The 12th, the 26th, and then February 9th. February 9th, Super Bowl Sunday by 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. We'll probably do some Super Bowl themed stunts for that night. That day it'll be a good time. If anyone's interested in giving it a try, we'd love to have you come out. We're doing 25% off for Women on Wheels members or anyone who's here tonight. And then, yeah, it's a lot of really great people and a fun time on 2 wheels.
yeah, and I'll be there. You'll be
I'll be
there.
there.
Colleen,
What?
are you doing?
Fatty Cross?
No. Margot's there. Michelle's there. Jen, you doing Fatty Cross? Good seeing you. Hiding back there. Any other questions? No. Brian, do you mind getting a quick picture of us?
Sure.
And then, yeah, Brian's your guy if you want to order anything, ask questions about bike service, and then you can explain the bargain basement to us.
Sure. You want to get in here?
You want to go over here?
I'll come in the next, I'm a little.
Yeah, come right there.
A little inside.
Nice. 2, 3.
Oh.
Okay, yes, we're all good. In terms of the bargain basement, our upstairs bargain basement, everything is, other than maybe 2 jerseys over on the men's side, everything is brand new, mostly from one of our vendors, Endurance Threads. They basically wanted to trim down their website, so anything that they didn't have full size runs of, they sent to us. Everything is at least half off, and we're doing another 15% off for everyone that's here tonight. So some pretty nice deals.